Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bensalem Township Council meeting. Today's date is October 24th. We changed the date because we had a conflict with Columbus Day, and so we are this Tuesday evening. I'd like everyone to please rise for a moment of silent meditation or prayer, and that's going to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to introduce you to those of us who are at the dais this evening so you know who we are. And we have to the extreme left, we have our township engineer, Phil Worcester. We have our township secretary, our executive secretary for the council. We have Debbie McBreen. Over to the extreme right, we have our solicitor, Ed Rudolph. What's that?
Pinch hitter.
Pinch hitter.
Pinch hitter. Is that has to do with anything for tonight? Pinch hitter. Okay. You want everybody to give you a pinch, or what do you mean? I don't understand. We have our mayor, the Honorable Mayor Joseph DiGirolamo, and we have our starting lineup this evening. We have Joe Polari, our vice president. We have to the extreme right, with his hat on, looking as handsome as can be, with his Willie Montanez jersey on, Joe Knowles. And then we have Stacy Champion, also with her Turner t-shirt on.
Cheers. I
I have a Rollins t-shirt, but I didn't bring it with me. I have just a regular old red t-shirt for the Phillies, but let's go Phillies. And from there, we're going to proceed with our meeting. We have the public comment, and that's limited to agenda items at this time. We will have at a later time this evening agenda or any comments, public comments that we would like to make on the agenda items or any other items you would like to speak on. This evening, we have agenda item number 4, which is the approval of the council minutes. This is for meeting September 18th, 2023. Is there any changes to that? If not, any changes? If not, then I'll ask for a motion to be put on.
I'll make a
the floor.
motion that we accept the minutes from September 18th as presented.
And I was going to say, we have a motion on the floor?
Yep.
And we have a second on the motion?
Second.
Second on the motion, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And against, the abstention is unanimous. And on to agenda item number 4A. This is recognition of the Bensalem Police by the International Association of Chiefs of Police. And we have our Director of Public Safety, Bill McVeigh, here is going to speak on this and make a presentation. Along with him, we have our Deputy Director, Bob Race. He's in the audience also. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Council President and members of Council, Mayor, Mr. Rudolph, Mr. Worcester. Appreciate you having me tonight. The first thing here is the recognition of our police department, which myself, the Deputy Director, and our entire police department are very proud of this. The International Association of Chiefs of Police has about 33,000 members across the world. It's represented in 170 countries. And the Bensalem Township Police Department was recently selected to be featured as a department committed to excellence and a premier agency. We were one of 25 departments selected across the country for the work that the men and women do here every single day in Bensalem to keep us safe. So we have the production that the IACP TV produced here in Bensalem. This was featured at the conference, the International Conference, for all the world of law enforcement leaders to see. So with that, I'd like to play it, but I'd also like to thank Council and our Mayor for your unwavering support, which I'm proud to say everywhere we go. A lot of people don't get that in this profession. And also thank you to the residents, because without their support, we won't be able to do the fine job that we do every day. So this is a tribute to our men and women, and it's yours to see now.
I've been mayor for 30 years, but I was born and raised here in Bensalem. Positive change has been happening here for a long time, and it's something I started many, many years ago. It was called Building a Better Bensalem. And out of that has come committees that work on everything from policing to diversity. We have the largest police force in all of Fox County. The Director McVeigh and all of his men and women here in the township do an incredible job reaching out to the community all the time and working with them to make sure that our community is safe.
The Bensalem Police Department is a leader in law enforcement in the state of Pennsylvania. We are accredited through PLEAC in the state, and we are accredited through CALIA nationally. We have over 100 sworn officers, and we are out there every single day with our mission to protect and serve the citizens of Bensalem. Over the past 30 years, we've built tremendous bridges with our community. We work with our community every day. An example of that is just our police hiring. We work with members of the community, the NAACP in particular, where they work with a sergeant and a lieutenant, a member of our command, to interview potential applicants. So our community seeing that we engage and bring them in to our hiring process gives them buy-in to this department.
They listen to the people on what we're doing in hiring at the Bensalem Police Department, because a police officer might see a police officer. I'm looking at a person. When they come in for an interview as a civilian on their board, we want the very best, because I want personally, I wouldn't mind getting stopped by this police officer. If I had a problem at home, I don't mind this police officer coming to my house. And I want to be able that person to be, like I said, professional, courteous, approachable, and the very best of the best.
I'm looking forward to the future and see how it will turn out.
Bensalem Police Department has several outreach programs to build the trust and relationships with the community. We have a fall festival here where they can get to meet the police officers one-on-one. We have a canine demo, a thrill show for the motorcycle cops. It gives us an opportunity for them to see us in a different light and know is that we have their best interest.
We have a PAL program that's unique. We're the only one in our county that has approximately 900 kids all year round. So we're constantly interacting with the youth, which is vital in today's society.
One of the biggest pluses that I have seen is watching kids that went through our program become police officers right here in Bensalem Township, wanting to give back to the community, and to me that's something special.
If I wasn't a participant in the police athletic league program here in Bensalem, I do not think I would have been a police officer. The impact that showing a humane side of policing, along with coaching, and from a kid's perspective, that was a completely different view of policing to me. I was able to steer away from being out in the streets all the time or doing other things that I shouldn't have done, but yeah, I focused that on playing basketball and being around the right group of people and seeing officers there as well. That also made me want to behave in a better manner and, you know, talking to them and seeing like, hey, they're human too. So I saw that there was a different avenue of living and there is a different way of approaching life through that program.
We have 3 SROs that are very heavily involved with PAL. They're our school resource officers. So it's great for the 1,000 youths that we have participating in our program, get a chance to know these SROs in case they're getting bullied or harassed. And we see everything that happens in the schools with these school shootings, that they're not afraid to approach the police officer because they don't just look at him as a cop, they look at him as a friend, as a mentor. So to me, it's key to build those relationships.
In Bensalem Township, we believe nothing will ever replace the police officer on the street. However, we are using state-of-the-art technologies to assist our police officers and detectives and on the street to help deter crime and solve crime.
In 2017, we were the first police department in the entire country to put a rapid DNA instrument right within the police department that was available 24/7, 365 days a year. Now, we can collect DNA from a scene. We can put it in our rapid instrument. In 90 minutes, we can take the DNA profile from that crime scene, upload it into our local database, and actually react to any DNA hits that we may get from that rapid instrument. Another one of our technologies is a real-time crime center. This integrates all of our technologies and brings it all into one location that every police officer can access on the laptops in their cars or on their cell phones. We have 65 intersections in Bensalem Township that have cameras located on them. We have cameras in businesses where our police officer can bring up a live feed inside of that business before they even get to the scene to help them respond better. This real-time crime center also integrates license plate readers within every vehicle that our patrol officers drive. So the technology aspect has become such a huge part of what we do here in Bensalem Township, because our crime rates are lower than any town around us. We are solving more crime once they occur, and I believe we're preventing a lot of crime as well.
So we always have to continue to keep that bridge between us and the community strong and find new and innovative ways to bring our community in with us. They deserve officers who can respond to their needs, but who also proactively go out and keep them safe. And by doing so, remove guns from the street, remove criminals from the street before they have a chance to commit their criminal ways in our township.
The trust issue is to be transparent, okay, and to be consistent. Integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. And that's what they're doing, and that's what the community sees.
The passion I have is to make sure that we continue to keep the people not just safe, but to give them all the ability to enjoy what we have here in this great town. A lot of open space, a lot of sports today, and it's been an incredible change.
And I don't know of any other profession that can have quite the impact that a law enforcement officer can have on an individual level and on a community level. So Robert Peel said many years ago, the police are the public and the public are the police. That statement alone sums up our relationship with our community, and we always have to foster that and build upon it. Thank you. Yeah, that was, we were very pleased to have that broadcast, and I think it really showed that, as the mayor says, teams win. It's not just the police, it's you, it's the residents, it's everyone coming together, and it really showed, I think, out in this video, especially with the PAL program and all of our youth. So thank you for all the support, and really proud to be one of the police officers that made this all happen. So,
I have a question before you leave.
yes, sir.
How is it that Bensalem was chosen out of 30,000 other members of the association?
It's a great question. I asked the same question. I didn't get a direct answer. They
So
said
you're
that-
not going to give me a direct answer?
Yes, I'll give you the video producer. It's from a lot of analytics, from social media posts that they see, from different pieces of information they get about arrests we make, programs. Some of it is whenever we launch a new initiative here in Bensalem, we're very transparent with it. We put it out to the community, our camera program, our school bus stop arm program, our DNA program. So I think it's that when it gets out in the media, they're scanning this at an international level, and that's how we were chosen.
So we did not initiate a questionnaire to become a part of this program? Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. We were contacted by the IACP and asked if we would be willing to be part of this. The big ask was to have the video made, because we have to give them access to our police department. And some of the other agencies, Miami Police Department, Boston Police Department, and then it goes down to a five-man department. So they try and get every type of law enforcement agency out there represented each year, and it's for, they call it best practices, so other departments can model what they see you doing in your community.
Well, I didn't expect the answer to be that, and I'm certainly more impressed with that answer than if you did apply for it. Not that there'd be anything wrong with that, but that's
Right.
pretty impressive.
I was very
That they
impressed,
sought you out.
and I was very happy to get that. At first, I didn't know if it was a real call. I had to do some research because it came out of nowhere, but I was equally as surprised and happy to get the call.
Okay, anyone else like to make a comment? Ladies and gentlemen, up here?
Yes, can I? I'm just very thankful we have the police department we have. My kids participate in PAL, and it's a wonderful program. And I love the fact how you guys are very interactive with the schools. I know personally that you guys have gone through my children's school when they were in elementary school, and I think that gives the kids a great introduction without, and becoming friends, exactly as you said there, because I know that when they see you guys, while they may know you a little bit better than maybe other kids, that whole interaction that you guys give on a daily basis and stopping in the schools and being in the parking lots really gives everybody a sense of how important our community is to you guys. So I definitely, as a parent and as a resident, and of course as a member of council, am so appreciative of all you guys. I really do.
Thank you very much, and I think the proof in that is, and they highlighted this, we went Officer Ajayu, and we just hired Officer Taylor. Both went through our PAL program at a very young age for many years. So to get them back is proof that we're doing something right, and hopefully we get more kids. We keep doing this program.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd just like to congratulate you, and you're doing an outstanding job as our director, too.
Thank you.
And I'm just very happy with the performance of our police department. And we're adjacent to Philadelphia, which has this crime problem. We have 3 major highways going through our township. So, you guys have to be on top of things. And from the residents I speak to, and, I'm a lifelong resident, 5 or 6 generations. So, but people are confident if they call the police in Bensalem, they're going to get assisted, and they're going to get helped, and they feel safe in their homes. And thanks for the job you do. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Anyone else like to add anything? Okay. Very impressive presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to agenda item number 5. What? Consideration of firefighters safer grant. This is for a submission for the year 2024. We have, I think you did that presentation in times to make us a little softer presentation for me now. Is that what that is?
I didn't pick the order. Yeah.
Anyway, can you tell us what the safer grant is and what you're intending to do with it and how long it is and what it's about?
Okay, thank you, Council President. So I'll put my other hat on now, representing still public safety, but the fire department, the Bensalem Township Fire Rescue, our career department. So the SAFER grant is a federal grant from the United States government that would provide funding for up to 4 years. We are seeking it for 4 full-time paid career staff firefighters, where it would include their salary and benefits over that 4 years. After that, it would be the township's obligation to sustain that funding, which is something we will be working on thoroughly and presenting at a later time if these funds are awarded. The main reason for this, as I've outlined in my memo to the mayor for him to share with council, is there's been a significant decrease in the number of volunteers as we've seen across the country, in Pennsylvania, Bucks County, and unfortunately in Bensalem as well. So with the decrease in the number of volunteers, the increase of calls for service that our paid career staff are going on a daily basis, we need more staff to keep our residents safe. This isn't just coming from your Director of Public Safety and my staff, it's also coming from the volunteer leadership in many meetings where they've called for the township to hire more paid firefighters, which I thought at first was odd to hear from volunteer company leadership, but that is what they have spoken of because they realize they are not getting trucks out during the day the way they did in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. So what this grant would do is give us the ability to hire 4 firefighters that we could immediately get out there, get them on the street, to get our fire suppression more efficient and effective in this township, and that's what the residents deserve. Obviously, everyone has seen the fires in this township. If they strike, it's quick. Its response time is critical, and getting trained firefighters there is even more critical. So I can't stress this enough. I know there'll be questions about the funding in years to come, but I'm confident that through the mayor's office and his administration, with the assistance of council, we'll be able to come up with a viable plan to sustain this. And the last comment I have is that the reason that there is a priority on this is that almost a lot of municipalities around us have sought SAFER grants or were awarded SAFER grants and are currently competitively seeking them now because they're added more career staff. So we are competing against our neighbors as we are for police officers at times for the best. And I don't want to be stuck behind the 8 ball and not have the ability to get the staff we need. And this couldn't have been emphasized more than when we had 2 firefighters on our career staff, one who sustained a serious injury falling off a ladder while volunteering, and another one who was in a horrific accident, and they were both out of work. So we were at critical levels of staffing for about 6 months. So I don't want to see us get in that position again. This is the right move for the township, and that's why I'm making this presentation preliminarily to seek, with the mayor's blessing and council, to put this in to hopefully get awarded the funds of the SAFER grant.
Do we need these 4 individuals at this time? Is that your presentation to us?
Yes, it is.
Now, what if we don't receive the grant?
Then we're going to operate the way we do now, but I can tell you that it's not the best right now. They're doing a great job, but when you have 2 firefighters that can get hurt like police officers in a moment's notice or more, we cannot staff our truck if 1 more was hurt. Guys couldn't take off, we didn't have enough, and to be honest, we're going to have to expand our hours in the future as well, potentially weekends with career staff firefighters to have a professional, timely response. We owe that to the township. The times have changed, and trust me, I'm not one that wants to expand for no reason, and I'm not a firefighter, but I've been heavily involved in this for the past almost 2 years now, evaluating, speaking with professionals and our own staff, volunteers, and my professional opinion is this is really the only option we have at this time.
Can you conceive of Bensalem becoming a full paid fire department?
At this time, no. Without volunteers?
Yes.
No. That's why we're separately working on the consolidation at this time.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Bill, would you have flexibility if we hired 4 new ones, and then, we'd have to see whether the staff, the funds are there to continue in the future. But is there flexibility just not to keep them here, but maybe in the future have them at substations or other stations that need coverage in different parts of the township?
A career staff firefighter, I think that might come once we have a fire chief and we have a consolidation, hopefully that succeeds, that we can get into that. But at this point right now, I don't think that's viable as of today. In the future, that very well could be, but as of today, I would say that's not viable.
But we would have flexibility in the future that if
Sure, I would definitely want to evaluate that with the leadership and consider all options, whatever would be most effective.
Okay.
Director, are you aware of the NFPA standards for paid firefighters? I believe I told you. Do you remember what I told you it is?
I believe you said we would need to hire 65 paid
Correct.
firefighters.
We have a paid fire department now in Bensalem that was not approved by council. The administration set it up and did it. It wasn't done by council. So you are now a paid fire department. This township is now a paid fire department. So once the NFPA gets a hold of that, you're going to have to do that. You're not going to have a choice. Township's not going to have a choice. And when that happens, where's the money going to come from to pay for this paid fire department? Do you have any idea? Have you guys thought
So
that out?
I have no intention on hiring 65 firemen.
You have to.
But it's-
NFPA says you have to. When you have a paid force, you have to follow their standards, and their standards for paid fire staff is 1 firefighter for every 1,500 or 1,800 people in your township. You don't have a choice of that. This is a federal government thing. You're not going to have a choice of that.
Yeah, but they haven't come here in the past 13 years to say
They're going
that.
to, because you keep adding to the staff. You're going to be up to 11 once you do this. You're not doing fires at night. You're only doing fires at day, and you're depending on the volunteers that you're saying aren't getting the job done at night. How can you do that? This plan is, to me, is not well thought out, because if you're going to do it, you either do it or not do it.
So I have a few points. I'm not saying that the volunteers are not doing their job. They're trying to do their job, but during the day, they have proven that they are not getting out the way they used to. We've seen it time and time again where our career staff is first on scene, knocking the fire down 2-3 minutes before a volunteer company would get there. At night, we rely extremely heavily on the volunteers to do the job. But as for your number of 65 firefighters, I have to do more investigating in that. It hasn't happened yet. We've had a career staff for 14 years, and no one's come here to say we can't have that. And I don't think anyone wants to take it away. They do a fantastic job in this township. They're professional, they're career staff, and they're recognized as firefighters.
The question is, where are you going to get the money? Because the new fire staff is going to be 3/4 of what the police is. That's a lot of money. Where's that money
I'm not
gonna come?
saying we're going to have 65
You're not going to have
firemen.
a choice. The NFPA is going to make you do it. The federal government is going to make this township do it, because this was done without the council. The council didn't have input in this in the beginning, which it should have had. When we asked the director, Fred Haran, when he was the director, when he brought in the last 4, when we made the okay to bring this staff over from building and planning to be fire inspectors, we said that no problem, we would agree to do that, and they could run fires when they're there. Next thing we know, we find out there's a SAFER grant. The SAFER grant didn't come to us till after it was approved by the state. You went last year for a SAFER grant and didn't come to council and ask for it, and not till I complained about it this year and said something about it, are you here today asking for that SAFER grant? So what I'm trying to figure out is, there's no plan here. The plan is, yeah, you need more people, and yeah, we may need more people, and we do need to consolidate. We do need to do a lot of this stuff. But where's the money going to come from?
So my intention, again, is for 4 firefighters, and my intention will be to do what we do with the police department. When I see a need, or Fred Harron has seen a need, we sit down with our administration, we go over ways we can cut some areas to increase our funding to the police.
I believe it's the same situation here with the fire, and we have an opportunity to get full funding for 4 years that gives us ample time, I believe, with the brains we have in this township to come up with a very viable solution to sustain that for the future.
You're past that now, because you've already started a paid fire department.
I'm
So-
not disputing that. It is a paid fire department.
understand.
I'm not here to dispute that.
I understand. So now you're gonna be held accountable, or the township, the administration's gonna be held accountable from the NFPA to hit these standards. We're not a city, we're a second-class township. I'm sure that this fits in with anything else, but we'll have to find that part out of it. But taxpayers need to know what's going to happen to them if the NFPA comes in and says, yes, you have to do this, and what's going to happen with their taxes and where they're going to be when this
So,
happens.
is my understanding is that the fire rescue function is within the Department of Public Safety. Their function and mission are part of the Department of Public Safety's function and mission. They operate under the umbrella of public safety. So I don't know if that's something different with the standards we're talking about, but we've had experts look into our current process, evaluate it. No one has brought that up but you. I will certainly follow up with that, but I do not believe we're going to be forced to hire 65 paid
They're
firefighters.
part of the Philadelphia Firefighters Union. The Philadelphia Firefighters Union is the one who does their contracts for them. So to think that the Philadelphia Firefighters Union isn't going to push for this, to get more members and do things, I think...
They work with our union, sir. So
I
I'm just saying, it's been 13 years, nothing's happened, and we've proven to have an effective department. It needs to expand, not by 65, but by 4 right now.
This council should have been, from day one, involved with this. This should not have been done without the approval of this council. There's an administration council. We each have our own jobs. This was done, the department was set up without our approval to set up this department. So
In 2010?
we didn't approve a paid fire department in 2010.
I can't speak to 2010. All I can say is
I'm
that when
just saying,
I
we never
took
approved.
over, there's been 4 contracts outlining what they do.
I'm not blaming you because you weren't here when it started, but the administration decided to do the paid fire department, decided to let the SAFER grant go out, and we didn't get the SAFER grant till we came back in. So now you're adding 4 more guys. In fact, this first SAFER grant was only for 4 guys. How do you have 7 paid guys now?
So my understanding, though, is as the Department of Public Safety, it was in the purview of Director Harron at the time to establish fire rescue.
By who?
And that is our legal interpretation of the second-class
By
township
who?
code, and also the Public Safety Department as established through the township.
You can't
By
start a new
ordinance.
department without council approval.
I mean, this is,
I'm talking to the director.
And I
Thank
can
you.
talk when you keep on saying the administration.
I'm talking to the
If
director.
you has
I'm
accusations,
talking to the director.
Bring it to
This
me.
is a council meeting. I'm talking to
and
the
the director
director.
works for us.
I
so
don't
can-
care. I'm talking to
Yeah.
him, not to you.
Well, you're not going to get away with just coming out here saying things that aren't true.
Prove I'm wrong.
We do. We prove it every day. You're
Prove I'm
wrong. We have a paid department.
Right,
We're-
you have a paid department, you did it illegally, that the
If you
council
don't-
did not
if-
approve.
You have the option to vote no, not to put 4 more people on there. It's that simple.
Mr. President, I'm going to ask that we continue. I'm going to ask that we continue this, and I ask for a work session of council to discuss this in the future going forward. This can't keep happening. It puts the council in a bad position, and it's going to put the township in even worse. It's up to you guys, though.
You're putting out a form of a motion?
Yes, I
Is that
am.
what you're saying? You're
Yeah.
putting a form of a motion? Well, I have, prior to this meeting, I know I had discussed with you, I have discussed with you the possibility of having an executive session. And I think that's going, and that will happen. So we can discuss, with the council members, what you're at least making allegations of. And so we can hear your side of the story, I guess it would be. However, in order to have a motion on the floor, we have a motion, and we would need a second on that motion. So if anyone's willing to put a second on that motion, I would certainly entertain that. So a motion on the floor. Do I hear a second on the motion? Okay, not hearing any second on the motion, and the motion will die on the floor.
Thank you.
We will, however, as I said, have that executive session to discuss the matter as it's still in the transitional stage of what we're doing. you're just applying for the grant at this time, and we're not hiring anyone at this time. Is that correct?
It is correct. We are applying for it, and the reason that we are here is I feel it's a priority to apply sooner than later because of the competitiveness now with all the other municipalities around us.
Okay, and since we're talking about the expansion of Bensalem Township and the firefighters and such, when are you prepared to have a presentation to the council from the, I think you have a conglomerate of fire departments, the volunteer fire departments, putting together a program? When will that be ready to make a presentation to the council?
Our goal is to have a fire chief hired by the first of next year, and then we would move forward with presenting to council the final, presentation on the consolidation of all 6 companies. But we have to still have the individual vote from the companies prior to that. So we're hoping by the end of first quarter of 2024 to bring the consolidation effort to council.
Okay, and then prior to that, when we have a meeting, as I said, an executive meeting, then we will add to, I guess we'll have someone taking notes for us, but we'll have that to make a presentation to you also, as you can add that to the number of different ideas from different sources, hopefully constructing a feasible fire protection for Bensalem Township.
Yes, sir, that's the goal.
Can I
Go
ask you a
ahead.
question based
Sure.
on that? How many of the volunteer companies have to approve this to move forward?
We didn't do a final vote yet.
Well, how many have to for it to move forward or to die?
Well, 6 have to vote. We haven't made it. I'm optimistic, and I hope all 6 vote for yes, because that's what's needed for this township.
But if they don't, the question is, how many have to vote for it to go through?
There's not a number set yet.
So you can just choose if 2 companies say yes, we're for it, 4 say no, you can go forward with it anyway? Is that what you're saying?
I have to evaluate that at the time and make the best decision for the residents and business people of Bensalem Township.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that we're having an executive session, so it should be very informative and we can air some of this stuff out. But I do think we need to apply for the SAFER grant. I don't want to hold things up with this, and I want to be competitive with other people applying for this. And then we get the grant, then we can decide from there what we want to do.
Thank you.
And when is the grant due date usually for the SAFER grant application? Just so we understand the
Beginning of
time sensitivity.
2024, I believe.
So we're
I don't
8
have
weeks
the
away.
I don't have the exact date. We have a lot of material already prepared.
But we're roughly 8 weeks away, and given the holiday timeframe,
We'll try
to
and
get
get
it
it,
in.
I believe, the first quarter. They'll send something out to open it up, but we want to be ready to go the day it opens up to have the grant submitted.
The only comment I would make, and this is just an observation, would be that wouldn't you at least like to have a majority of 6 companies voting in the positive as opposed to 2, and you're making a decision?
Well, I'm not going to make that decision. I have to see what they vote. I've been doing this for a year and a half. I want all 6 because I put a significant amount of time in with the deputy director, a lot of other leaders in this township to do the right thing for this township. And there's some naysayers out there that don't believe it's the right thing for the township that we've been going around trying to educate, talk, listen, to bring everyone in on this. So I'm optimistic, and I didn't do this to fail. The mayor didn't get behind us to see it fail, and I know council gave us the authority to move forward, to explore it, to make Bensalem a safer place. So the goal was 6. If only 1 or 2 voted to do it, I would think that we failed in some regard, and we'd have to start the process over. But my goal was to have 5 or 6 vote yes.
Again, this is my observation. I would think you'd want to have 4, at least 4, which is a majority of the 6, to
We
continue
think
the
alike,
program
yes.
as it's presented.
Yeah.
Or then you have to reassess it and continue the process of seeing where it's going and such.
We're not going to make the residents any less safe. I can promise everyone that. If only 2 voted and it's not the way to go, then we wouldn't step forward without having the effective and efficient fire company we need. So the goal was all 6.
And this may be premature, but the one question I have is, when a decision is made, if it is made to go forward, or even if it is not made to go forward, will we give more information to the community? Will we do some sort of community information meetings here where people can come and speak? Because this does affect 60,000 residents, and, not in the least the number of businesses that we, on a daily basis during the day, who are very active.
I think
in
it's a
industrial
great
parks.
point, and I think it's something that we would have to, with mayor and council, unveil this if or when it goes through as the new company, so they understand what it is and that they feel confident and know that it's best for them as well, so that we can get a fire truck, God forbid we need to their residents in the most appropriate time allowable. So yes, I agree, we will put it out to it's premature right now.
It is premature, but that is part of the, hopefully the final plan because we do have a lot of residents that moved up from Philadelphia, and they probably don't understand the concept
Right.
that we have here in the counties.
My recommendation would be after it was brought to council, if approved, if council voted for it as well, that at that point was when we would do it after that.
Bill, that's a good point. I wanted to just clarify something, that if you get a final vote, hopefully you get the majority or a majority vote, and you get consolidation, hopefully all 6. But no matter what plan you approve, okay, or recommend, then it has to come to council for us to actually approve it. So it's not going to be something you approve and then we have to do it because we have no choice.
No, I'm not the
Right,
king of this.
exactly.
No,
I just want to clarify that,
Yeah.
so it's not nothing that a minority people decide and then we don't have no decision. Whatever you decide is going to have to come to us, and then we're going to decide whether we accept it or not.
Yes.
Now, I would suggest, there's 2 suggestions I would make, would be the one that the presentation, as Councilman Champion just had said, where the presentation will be made at a council meeting, or an adjunct, a council meeting where you make a presentation here, but that would be suggestion number 1. But suggestion number 2, which I believe would be the appropriate process, would be that we would go to each and every firehouse and make the same presentation to the local people, to each 6 individual fire companies, and make the same presentation, and to see what the reaction is of all the individuals. Because I would assume that the reaction from one firehouse may be a little different than another. So we have to take that into consideration also. I would think that would be,
Your assumption's correct. They're all each individual ecosystems of their own, the 6. So we have visited, if they ask us, they have representatives from each company on the steering committee too,
Okay.
elected representatives. But we have been asked to go to recently 2 fire companies who felt they needed to hear the message right from myself and the deputy director, which we did, and we're scheduled to go to a 3rd. So when they ask, we go, we present if they feel they need it. The other 3 companies felt that they understand it enough, and they
Right.
know where they stand.
but my suggestion is not to make a presentation to the fire companies, but to the local residents.
I'm sorry, I
in the-
misunderstood you.
No, that's okay. The local residents in that specific area, they may have things that maybe we didn't think of, or maybe you didn't think of, or maybe the companies in its totality didn't think of. So I think.
it's a good
I
idea.
think we did that once before when we made some significant changes in the department. So we went to different fire companies and made presentations to the people. And after explaining it to them, they were happy as can be because they understood what was happening directly, as opposed to rumors going down
Right.
the lane.
I think community involvement is key, because this does affect us. I mean, I personally know how it can affect you from a fire perspective.
Okay, I think we covered that pretty much to an extreme of, I think we can go any further than that, but let's get back to reality of where we're here, which is agenda item number 4A. And, I'm sorry, we did 4A. 5A is correct. And that's a consideration of firefighter safer grant for submission, and that's in year 2024. So, is there anyone from the public who'd like to come forward and make a comment on that at this time? Not seeing anyone come forward, I want to ask for a motion to be put on the floor.
I'll make a motion that we approve the safer grant application for 2024 as presented by our Director of Public Safety.
We have a motion on the floor.
I'll second it.
We do have a second on the motion. Is there any additional discussion on the motion? Not hearing any. All those in favor signify with an aye. Aye. Any against? Any abstentions? So that's a 4-0, is that correct, Joe? I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, 4-0, okay, thank you.
They're only applying. We didn't
Exactly
approve it.
right. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Council.
All
Appreciate
right.
your time.
All right, thank you for your time. Agenda item number 6 will be public hearing on an enacted resolution regarding the municipal grant program for funding of integration of police record management system, RMS, throughout Bucks County.
Is this the most you've spoken to us in like eons?
What's that?
He's back again. His face.
I'm sorry, I forgot about this.
Come on, Bob, come up here. Come on, sit down,
You
Bill.
want to handle this one? Sure.
Yes, let him handle it. Let's get a pretty face up here for a change, will you?
Thank you, President.
Council, good evening. Deputy Director Race. This is to follow up on the resolution and the supporting documentation that was presented to the Redevelopment Authority for funding for two projects through the Bucks County Chiefs of Police, one in reference to Cody Cobra and also one in reference to the TAG program. I'm sorry. Specifically in reference to Cody Cobra. And obviously, I'm going into this a little cold, so. If there's any questions in reference to this?
Well, we do this every year, is that correct?
Yes.
So this is just getting the
So
approval
basically,
you
we act
continue.
as the advocate for the other municipalities that participate in this program and represent the Bucks County Chiefs of Police in applying for the funding, and it benefits numerous municipalities within the county.
Okay,
Do
any
we disperse
questions?
the funds out to the various ones, or do we manage the entire program for the record management system?
We pay it out.
We pay it out?
For us, the funding, we pay it to the provider, Cody, for the county.
Oh, okay, and then everybody has access to
Everyone
it?
has access. You know, it's all 39 police departments, right?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. In the future, if you'd like to speak, you'd have to come up today. All right, we have a motion on the floor. I'm going to put a motion on the floor to enact this resolution as presented by the Deputy Director.
I'll put a motion.
I'm asking for a motion.
I'll put a motion on the floor.
I'm sorry.
Resolution 2023-12 for a $115,000 grant, municipal grant program on behalf of the 39 police departments.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor.
I'll second the motion.
We do have a second on the motion. Any additional discussion? Not hearing any. All those in favor signify with an aye. Aye. And against, any abstentions? That is unanimous again. Okay. Thank you so much, gentlemen. You have a wonderful
Thank you.
evening.
Thank you very much.
Agenda item number 7, consideration of a lot line change for Mylin and Mita Brambot, 1247 Bridgewater Road. This is a residential tax map parcel 02-073-001-001, as well as 02-073-001. Lot line change. All right, this is that little teeny tiny lot line change, is that right?
Yes, up at the top corner.
Okay, okay, the top corner, yeah, exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've had an opportunity to review this. Do you have any questions at this time?
I just wanted to confirm that he presently owns both lots, okay?
He does,
And the
yes.
smaller lot they're both zoned
Yeah,
residential?
residential, absolutely,
Okay.
yes.
And you're just combining them, or
And they're combining
Oh,
for
We're combining them into, he would like to combine them into one
I like that better.
lot.
I was confused. Okay.
When you combine them into one lot, when you say develop the lot, it's just one single home?
That is correct.
Okay,
On
so-
lot, yes. So
Yeah.
he already has his grading permit and building permit to build a residential home on that lot 1 down towards the bottom at the road.
Okay.
Okay, any additional questions, ladies and gentlemen?
No, I'm good with it.
Not hearing any. This is a lot line change. Would anyone like to come forward? Not seeing anyone come forward. I'll ask for a motion to be put on the floor.
I'll put a motion on the floor, I guess.
Okay, we have someone.
For tax parcel 02073-001-001 and 02073-001 for a lot line change from 2 lots to 1 lot.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. And this is based on the presentation.
Mr. President, just a couple comments, if you would.
Please.
One requirement would be that the deed consolidating the 2 parcels should be presented to the township first before the recording of the
Before the
document.
recording, yes, sir.
Okay. I know there's comments concerning curbing and sidewalks, but I think that is something that would be put off until the the structure is built and a condition of the construction. That's part of the engineer's comments.
That's correct. That would be at the time of actual building
Right.
on the lot.
And as far as the other comments that the engineer had in his report, most of them are just technical as to the plan. I'm certain that there is full compliance with those comments.
Correct. And again,
By the
at the
applicant.
time of building.
Right.
And,
Now,
and when permits are being received, then that time there will be impact fee that has to be paid, imposing on the building of the home.
Is there an existing house on the?
There is no house.
No, yeah.
So there would be a one-lot impact fee. We would,
That would be due at the time of the issuance of permits.
Recreation fee and whether there's money in lieu of curbs and sidewalks will be decided at that time, right? When they
Everything
come in.
else here in terms of the salary.
As to section 201-83, that refers to a property that has structures upon it. Currently, are no structures, so that's not applicable at this point in time. It will become applicable once there's a structure, and the curbing and siding would be required.
I believe there is curbing and sidewalk there.
Might be, but that's
Currently,
just
yes.
a requirement.
Yes.
So I have one question then.
Sure.
So everything that's here from TPD at this point, because we don't have an actual building plan in front of us, is not necessarily, that's wrong.
These are, so you can speak, these are,
These are generally things that we're going to look for when they go to development of the property. So that would include the things that are in this list. As an example, we put up a zoning issue. If there's any issues associated with wetlands, they still have to come through and take care of those things. So it has nothing to do with the specific of the lot line. It's just to let them know that they're going to have to.
Exactly, we're only
take a look.
voting on the lot line
Right.
change, and that's what we're
Correct,
voting on.
that's correct. We're only voting on the lot line, so when they go for development of the lot, then they have to come in front of us again.
Right.
Okay, so then we'll deal with that.
Well, no,
What-
that would be part of a building permit.
And
Right.
you already have that.
And-
Right,
Okay.
yeah, we have the building permit and the grading permit already for Lot 1, for the new home.
Okay.
So they'll have to do.
So they needed no zoning variances or anything like that, and wetlands or any of that type of stuff?
They just have to do what they said in, what we have in our letter as part of their building. It has nothing to do
It's a
with the
single
specifics
house,
of the
yeah.
lot line.
Okay.
we don't know if there's a variance because we don't know where the house is located as yet. Obviously, it's possible, quite unlikely that you'll have variance issues because of the size of the lot being 2.2
Right.
acres on a 7,500 square foot R2 property
We're not
requirement.
voting for that at this point, though.
No, that's why I'm, yeah.
We have to do a wetland delineation.
Well, and
And
that.
they're the
right.
types of things that they have to do upon commencing the building process.
We're voting for a lot line
Lot-
change.
this
We're
is the-
voting
just
for
the
a lot
lot.
line change. Let's move for the lot line change. Everything else is secondary when they come before us, if they don't even have to come before us.
Okay, Ms. Champion made a motion, I'll second the motion that we approve the lot
did.
line change.
Okay,
Okay, I'll re-second it.
thanks, Joe. You're the best, and you're wonderful. Thank you. All those in favor? Anyone like? All right, we got that voted in. Thank you. Okay.
Now, we are requesting a waiver from the council for the wetland delineation. So is that something you need us to put in writing, or is that,
Yes.
okay,
That's a separate meeting, right?
that's a
Yeah,
separate
Absolutely.
that would be separate. And
Okay.
you should be coordinating that with my staff.
with your staff? Okay, all right, will do.
Right. So if you want to come in with a subdivision and land development, that'd be wonderful. I don't even think you need one because it's one lot.
It would probably just be, they would come in front of you for a waiver, something like what Quentin comes up for.
Exactly.
and things, so
Yeah, because
that's
it's
what
just one lot,
Right.
one home. They don't have to come before us.
Right. Fee in lieu of sidewalks, things like that.
Okay, thanks. Phil, you take care of it.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Number 8, consideration of a reduction of permit fees. This is for Holy Ghost Prep School Mothers Guild Craft Show. This is located at 2429 Bristol Pike, Bensalem, Pennsylvania. All right. Who wants to read that for us? guess I'll read it. Oh, here, I'll read it, no.
It's right here.
All right, we have the original fee of $600 for other special events. We want to reduce that to $300. We have a bond issue from $10,000. That's only going to be bonded at $2,500. And the difference is the original fee would be $10,600, and we're reducing that to $2,800. Mr. Rudolph, you fine with all that?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? If not, I'll ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 50% deduction to 2,800 for the total as presented.
All right, we have a motion on the floor.
I'll second the motion.
We do have a second on the motion. Any additional discussion? All those in favor signify with an aye. Aye. And against, any abstentions? Are unanimous. Number 9, we have public comment. Would anyone like to come forward and make any comment on any items at all? You're not a public. Okay. Other business from personnel. And we'll start right down the line. We have our township engineer. Phil, would you like to say anything this evening?
It's almost first pitch time.
Okay, thank you. Debbie, anything this evening? Phillies, go Phillies, I hear that. Okay. Mr. Rudolph? Same thing? Got it. Mayor?
Go Phillies, that's all I can say.
Okay, we'll go with our councilman. Mr. Polari? Ditto. Ditto, there you go. Mr. Knowles?
Yeah, I just want to mention that the Phillies are playing tonight, and I just want to mention that Willie Montanez was a great American and a great first baseman. And go Phillies.
Always has something to say, even there's nothing to be said. Okay.
Congratulations to the Bensalem Police on their wonderful accolades there. Go Phillies, and don't forget to vote.
Okay, thank you, and same thing, I'll repeat what everyone said. The evening is over for us, hopefully just beginning for our Philadelphia Phillies. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.